follow your lead. You want
Yeah,
to keep
we're
me?
on. We're on. Here
We're
we
on.
go.
What up, everybody?
Hello. Is this on? Did I do it correctly?
Somebody's going to tell you yes or no.
Yes. Did I do it correctly? And turn down my sound. It helps that I had it set up on my cell phone too. So I can now look at chat. Hello. I am bloom-n-cheeza. This is my my friend Disney Baker, the Disney Baker. There we go. So this is show and tell. What this entitles is we're gonna have, if you want to, anyone can join. Anyone can join the StreamYard. Anyone can hop in and try to show and tell what you have, some of the stuff you have, you know, you have a little bit of a collection going for whatever you have. So I did get some stuff recently, and I do like a lot of this stuff, obviously. My sister, shout out to my sister, Stephanie Bloom.
Shout out, Stephanie.
I love you. We got a nice amount of people in. Okay. Hello.
Hey, Katrina.
Katrina. Carla. Okay, so stuff I have. Some people have seen these. They're shoulder pets. You put them around the shoulder. And they're shoulder pets.
Is that held on with a magnet, Richard?
Yes. It's a magnet on the bottom of the plush, and then the underside has a magnet. So that is really cool, I thought. You know, it's just something you don't see that much of. It's Yoda. Hello. That's pretty cool. I'll get all of my stuff done with beforehand, and then we can have a bunch of people. If you want to, you can join on in, and I accept you in here, and we can have some fun.
Which part did you buy that out, Richard?
That would be from DisneyStore.com.
Okay.
That would be the online website.
Right.
My sister, yeah. And then I all of this is from Disney Store. I got it sent to my house. We are from Seattle, so it's a little far away from parks wherever you go.
Just a little, but you're on the Disneyland side though.
Yeah. Socks. These are pretty cool.
Heck yeah.
Love them. Nice and clean. I always like the smell of new socks. And then we got a few shirts that, look at that guy. Whee. I think that's him.
He's a screamer. Look at him running.
Exactly. And he's winking on the bottom and smiling in another one. Many different faces. I'll get this off. The next thing is this, which I already took off the back. It's a Nightmare Before Christmas silver.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah. There we go.
That's pretty cool.
I thought that was cool. And lastly, I would have to say I saved my best for last, the one I love the most. Mickey Mouse dress shirt.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. Now, do you find yourself wearing more dress shirts Disney or T-shirts Disney?
Right now, T-shirts, but I could go towards dress shirts. You know, the main problem is the price.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah. Disney itself does not make. It makes very little dress shirts, and the ones you'll find is from like what is that called? Bahama
Oh, the
Bahama Man.
Bahama. Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
Bahama
oh,
Mama.
oh, Tommy Bahamas.
Yes.
That style, yeah,
Yeah, and those run upwards of $500
yeah,
at times.
that's see that starts dipping into my pin money,
Yeah, exactly. That's
and yeah, and that's not an option, not at all. Because you start getting into my pin money, then we're gonna have an issue.
man.
So that was that your famous five for tonight, and
Yeah, that was my famous short five for tonight. I just got it done with quick so I could help other people try to get in here quick as possible.
I always save the best for last.
Yeah.
So this is I call this my pin layer. This used to be my son's old bedroom until he moved to Memphis, Tennessee.
Okay.
So, and we're in the process of getting everything packed up to move down to Florida within the next 2 months.
Very cool.
So, so one of the pins that's really dear to my heart, I had to find out. A friend of mine his business took him to Tokyo.
Okay.
And this pin says, and if you're a pin collector, you definitely always want to have one of these guys, magnifying glass.
Okay.
So it says, a curse upon those who during trespass. And that's the sign that was hanging when Jack Sparrow was going into port.
Okay.
The pirates. It said, "Pirates be warned," but there was another sign that didn't make the movie, and they took it down. But this is that pin. Let's see if we can do this. Whoop. That's the black pearl.
That is so cool.
And that is definitely one of my favorites. And early on, when I started collecting pins, and I'm going to go with pins now.
Yeah.
Let's go here. That's my Euro Disney.
The castle. Okay.
Not from Euro Disney.
Okay.
And because my screen is so big.
Okay.
Everybody focus. Okay, come on, let's go.
I love those pins that are smaller than the backers that they're supposed to go on.
Well, and the cool thing about these are a bronze in color.
Yeah.
I don't know if they ever had a number of how many they made. And now we're going to switch off of pins for a while. Now, most people will have Disney hats.
Yeah.
And of course, it's Disney hat. Yay, Mickey.
Classic. Yeah.
Right. So that's your classic, right? And,
yeah.
And of course, you want everyone to yell your name when you're in the park. So you put your name on the back.
Yeah.
But one year I was at the park and they started selling these.
Okay.
And these are the tops.
The covers.
For your hats.
Ah.
And these are the heroes. And this is like one of my faves. And then if you turn it inside out, you have your villains.
Wow.
And now you have your villains. Now, my friend Sarah got married, and her husband Josh was Jewish. So for their wedding, this was my yarmulke.
Okay.
And I asked him beforehand. I said, "Is that cool?" And he goes, "Well, let me ask my dad." And his dad came over and he says, "Yeah, that's cool." So, something like that. You don't want to, make anybody mad. Now I do a lot of finds. I found this on eBay one day.
Oh.
Let me see if I can zoom in. Get my big fat face out of there. How do you do that? And hold on.
There it goes.
There we go. And that is a. There you go. That is a Mickey tie pin.
Oh,
and
wow.
It's old. It's old.
Old.
It's old. Even in the box that it came in. And luckily she lived about an hour from me. I'm in Maryland, and she was in Baltimore, and she wanted quite a bit for it, but that's not
bet.
That's not what she got. Yeah, no way. And moving right along, we'll stay on the pin adventure.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And that's the machine there was their layering machine. When he started doing layering with Fantasia, they really got into it. So that was like Mickey being Walt. He's got shoes on. He's got Walt's pants on. That one and this one are my 2s and 3s most favorites. Now, the story behind this one, this is supposed to be, of course, it's Minnie. There we go. It's Minnie.
Very cool.
And she's at Walt's desk, and I don't know if you can see. I'm going to zoom. See if I can see the picture.
Yes.
Okay.
Mickey.
And it's Mickey. Now, this one, I got on a trade about 7 years, about 6-7 years ago, and I'm going to show you this. This is an old thank you envelope that Disney would give you when they gave you your park passes. And it was compliments of Disney Vacation Club, but they used to use these. And the reason I show you that is because it's in pristine condition. But the gentleman that traded me the mini pin sitting at Walt's desk was this gentleman. And that's Scoop Sanderson. Now, Scoop Sanderson was a reporter on Main Street. Like you have the singing fire chief.
Okay.
And Scoop would come out, and he would have this long trench coat on, like a news reporter. And he had a news reporter hat on, and he had a little thing that said press in his hat. And his name was Scoop. And on the middle of his tie, he had an ice cream scoop. The reason he has ice cream scoop was when he got his first job at Disney, he worked in the ice cream shop, scooping ice cream.
Okay.
So he worked his way up. He would come out a couple times a day. And again, he had this long trench coat on that was for news reporters. And he would open his trench coat up, and he had a lanyard that was that wide that went around his neck, over his shoulders, to his knees.
Okay.
Covered in pins.
Yeah.
And he had a vest on. If you wanted to trade with him, his vest, he only traded with kids.
Okay.
But the big lanyard, he would trade with anybody. Now, he had pins on that were archives, old pins. And that's the only way you could get those pins were from him. We stood there and talked after his shift one day, probably for about an hour and a half. And he gave me his business card, traded me those pins. So that's special. That was something special. This pin is a 2001.
Wow.
I'm sorry, 2000. What did you say, 3 or 2? 2002.
2002, I think.
2002. Happy New Year pin. And this one is not dated. Declaration of Independence.
Oh.
And that's the Liberty Bell out at Liberty Square.
Yeah.
So those are my pins. If you want to keep going, I'll show you one of my newest guys that I got about a year ago.
He's a large one.
Well, we know who this guy is, right? And he's been loved a lot. His eyes, his eyebrows, his eyelids go up and down.
Okay.
And he has a motor box in him, and you put cassette tapes in him, and he tells you stories.
Okay.
His mouth goes up and down, and he'll tell you the story. I got this at a local swap shop in my area online. I won't say how much I got him for, but he's an investment.
Yeah, you don't see those at all.
No, he's an investment. And my 3 years ago, I've been planning my move to Disney for a long time, but 3 years ago, in the morning, I got into a conversation with a gentleman standing outside of Magic Kingdom, where the security was.
Mm-hmm.
And we had about 6 of us in our group that morning. And I like thanking the security guys, because out of all the places in the world, where do I feel safest? Is Disney.
Yeah.
And I like to thank them. So I went down at the far end, and I saw, a suit or two standing there talking to some guys. And I got in a conversation with a gentleman, and we talked, again, you can tell, for about an hour. And before we left, he said, I want you to have something. He said, so when you come back after your wife retires, he says, this is kind of going to be like you're not get out of jail free card, but you're kind of like, hey, I'm looking for this guy. Do you know where he is? And by the way, I have one of these. This is the Walt Disney World Security Division security coin. And that's on the backside. Magic Kingdom security, protecting the magic since 1971. And this coin is real thick.
Mm-hmm.
And he said, this is so you won't remember to come back and see me. My stays at Disney are pretty, I make them as memorable as possible. You see all the stuff behind me. I built this room probably, a month and a half ago.
Mm-hmm.
For this, I think you and I probably started our streams the same time. I didn't know how to do any of this.
Yeah.
I'm a baker by trade, as the name, the Disney Baker. When I first started on, it was Da Baker, D-A Baker. And then it was my initial CJ or Chris, and then I kept logging on. But then when we get on, we're talking to Chris at Dad's Build, we're talking to Chris at Addy Family Adventures. It got to be too many Chris's to where, there was people in chat like Katrina. We would talk, and she said, "Not you, the other Chris." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, never mind. I'll shut up here. I'll just be the quiet little mouse over here and chat." But I love it. How did you get into collecting Disney stuff?
Well, I got collecting Disney. Well, I probably what started off having me start to collect was having the Disney Vacation Club is when I first joined, which was 2000. I think it was 2012, and it was a little after that, I think. And I have my pin from that when I first got my Disney Vacation Club, and that was my first pin that I ever collected from Disney.
Wow.
And I've been to Disney. I already had it implanted in my mind because I went there when I was like 9 years old, and then that was Disneyland, and then I went when I was about 15, I think, which was Disney World. All of these times I went with my sister, which is in the chat, and we always just like support each other and help each other out. So we always go on vacations together too. So
Well, that's cool. Now I saw you on first time I believe I came across you was on the Mickey Bunch, and
yeah,
you were going through some stuff that just it totally blew Kelly's mind because
it did.
I kept hearing her go, "Why don't you have gloves on? Did you just pull that out of the archives? Where are your cloth gloves?" And
Yeah, exactly.
like, yeah, yeah, this is my stuff. Yeah, hey, check it out. Yeah,
Yeah,
she
check it out.
kept freaking out. I thought it was hilarious.
I could go off of that. I do have a suitable collection for Peter Pan, and that's what that was from.
Yes, just a tad.
Very suitable.
Yes. Well, no, how? So is Stephanie older or younger?
She's older.
Okay. So when you started going, were you kind of like following her lead? Did she kind of like say, "Hey, Richard, this is, check this stuff out," and then you started just collecting, or was it mutual where you both just started collecting?
I started collecting. I always loved the Goofy movie when it first came out, and that was one of the first sets I was trying to officially collect was pins for the Goofy movie, and after that, I started getting like Bibbidi boxes. I just have a year subscription for Bibbidi box, and I get it every month. So
yeah,
it adds to your collection after a while.
Right. Now, see, I checked into a couple of your videos and things because if you check into mine, I think there's like 4, 5. But
yes,
and you would think somebody, that again, I'm moving, I'm preparing to move, but I haven't been working since November, and that's how I found this wonderful family here.
Yeah,
it so definitely filled a void.
I've been on YouTube for quite a while. Let's probably say about 2 years, really. So I'm not really a new one around here. I just haven't tried to go live,
Right. Hey, Kimmy J, how are you? Welcome.
And if you look in my past videos, and I tried to organize them towards the bottom, and you can find collections like of sets of what I put in there, and one of them is of Bobby, or my aunt, and that's when she gave me all that Peter Pan stuff.
Right.
And I made a video of, you should have seen how long it took to make that video, but I had to cut it up into like 5 sections, but I did it all at once. And so you're looking at each one of them is about half an hour, a little bit less long. So like 4 to 5 hours of just video recording myself, showing what I got from her. And it's just like, things you would not even expect. There, she had snow globes. My aunt, my mom still tries to help me, and she finds stuff at like Goodwill, and I still do the same thing. I look at Goodwill, Salvation Army, stuff like that.
Hey, Mara Memphis, how are you? You mentioned Goodwill. All right, we're gonna go over. We're gonna go over to the I was at Goodwill on Tuesday. Now, I'm not a germaphobe, but I take this COVID really serious. So
yeah,
I have my box of gloves in the car, especially when I go into places like Goodwill. Have my mask on, put my gloves on.
Okay.
And it wasn't until I sweep Goodwill once, real fast, and then I go to picture frames. And in my second sweep, I found this.
Oh, wow.
Now this, I knew, I'm like, okay, so there's not too many castles out there. I said, but this looks familiar. and I turned it upside down. It says 1988, the Walt Disney Company, 1988 Sears. So this was apparently a Christmas, because that hole in the center holds the Christmas light. And it has a couple holes on the side.
Okay. It's lighted.
And let me tell you something. This will definitely be on my Christmas display. And I got this for $3.
Yeah.
$3. I'll put that back there. Do you now you say you bounce around consignment shops and stuff like that.
Yeah.
You ever seen one of these guys?
I have not. We find different stuff, but also it's in Washington, so it's like,
Oh, let me tell you something. I'm in Maryland. Far away. I'm far away too.
Yeah.
But the thing that you've already learned with YouTube is they're everywhere.
He
has a pull string.
Okay. Well, oh boy.
And I paid, I think, $10 for him.
Wow.
It's a local. It's called Offer Up. It's an app.
Okay.
And it can be just for your area, up to as many miles as you want, 10, 20, 30, 40 miles. It used to be called Let Go. And then Offer Up bought Let Go, or they merged. And that's how I find this stuff. Now, I always spend more than I want. This is a Walt Disney collection. It's Mickey's Fire Brigade, and it's Firemen to the Rescue.
Oh, I've seen that before.
That is cool. Is he not awesome?
That is awesome.
And again, I acquired this the same way, contacting these people, and this is a piece of wire.
Yeah.
And again, people cleaning out their basements or cleaning out their mom's or grandmom's house, and I got him from $10.
Yeah.
So, do you know when you started pin trading? Did you start pin collecting or pin trading first?
I started pin collecting first, and after I was collecting, I've only really pin traded like probably 2 times. The last 2 times I went to Disney World, so it has been probably about 2 years that I've been trading, I would say.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I saw you do your lanyard the other day.
That
was pretty cool.
And I get those from the box, the Bibbidi box that I do.
Gotcha.
Get, so.
Yeah. So I remember when the very first time I went to Disney World was with my wife when we were dating. And I'll tell you how early that was. It's Epcot. There was no Mexico, China, anything. It was just before the water. Nothing was built yet in the back. And then the next time we went was with our children when they were out of their nap age, and we started collecting. It was in 2002. And this was my first. Now, if you can see behind me, I make my own pin frames to put my pins on. And this was, let me go, here we go. That was my first trade.
Cool.
Now, this it was a pretty old pin frame that I found. Again, probably at Goodwill. And this was the original paint. It's orange, and it's got black velvet on the back. So this is the pin. And I when we bought the kids their lanyards, of course, you get the lanyards, got a couple pins on it for kids. I bought one for myself. I thought you could only trade at Sorcerer Mickey's hat at Hollywood Studios.
Okay.
So we went in Hollywood Studios. We went into the camera shop there on the right. We got the lanyards, and then we ran all the way to the Sorcerer hat and to do our next trade. Well, when we got there, the woman's like, "No, baby, you don't have to come all the way down here to trade." Mm-hmm. But this was my first trade.
Okay.
Where is he? Let's see. Have you seen him before?
I have a few times.
Yep. And gosh, there is so much in my. I'll get better at doing that.
Yeah, that looks cool.
So the cool thing about Goofy here is that, let's see if I can get this. There we go. At the top, there's a little dot. To the next to the little dot, you see kind of like a little circle with like I don't know what's in it. It's a photo cell.
Okay.
When you close the door, the photo cell turns the light on.
Oh.
And these tiny little squares on the door are actually
magnets,
little things of like glass.
Okay.
And it looks like there's somebody in the phone booth. And it's thick. It's I can take it off of here. It's thick because it takes batteries. It takes batteries. First thing I did, I took it home, I took the batteries out.
Yeah.
I'm like, no way. There's no way I'm gonna let this get messed up with acid. And so that's like my fave. So
yeah.
That's my number one. Somebody says, what's your number one pin? That's my number one pin. I mean, we could just zoom around your room and probably my room for hours. But my shelf, above here, I've got my Mickey phones. I collect Mickey phones. I collect some Loungefly stuff, not a whole bunch of stuff. I mean, I'm not into the pops like everybody, but I collect a couple. I have Jack Sparrow was one of my favorite pops because that's from my son. So that was my first pop. And then I've got Princess Leia and no collection would be complete.
Okay.
Without the redhead. So that's Kelly, the redhead. And,
yeah, redhead.
And I got my original Buzz Lightyear.
Buzz Lightyear.
And when we took stuff to Memphis from my son, he was unboxing on all his stuff. And I said, what are you going to do with Buzz? And he said, you can have him.
Wow. That's cool,
Thanks, Adam. You're my best kid.
And we have someone else that wanted to join in. Let's see who it is.
Who's knocking at the door? My daughter would said the Doa.
Hello there, my American friends.
Father, may I?
Hello.
Yeah. Can I ask you, what's the biggest gun you've ever fired? Because all you Americans have guns, right? So what's the biggest one you've fired?
Well, I think I fired a shotgun. It's probably the biggest gun.
You must have. You're American. I see it all the time on the television. You're all running about with guns everywhere. You must have a gun.
Okay. I kind of expected that, and it's just like,
Yeah. See, and
that's the
when
disadvantage of this kind of format. You just have people that it's like that.
yeah. Well, the
It's
good thing
fine.
is you control it.
Yeah,
So,
almost like
you're the ruler of the button. You're the ruler of the button. So you make all things happen. You're the puppet master. You pull the strings. Only thing on their end is they do this or they do this.
yeah.
And Gonzo, gets mad when people do this. And I learned from Pete. That's okay. I'm not everybody's cup of tea.
You know what? It doesn't even look if you put the thumbs up or thumbs down. It only looks if you subscribed and if you watch the video. So he had to watch the video to put the thumbs down.
Yeah.
He already supported you.
All right. So thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you for putting that thumbs down. It's greatly appreciated. I need more of them.
And the nice thing about that is we know, Father May I now. So thanks for joining the stream. It was nice having you on, but unfortunately,
yes.
we don't have a lot of knowledge on shooting guns.
Yeah.
I think the only gun that I've ever had Disney wise is my pistol when I have my Jack Sparrow outfit on.
Okay.
So we have here in Maryland, we have a Renaissance Festival. And if you've never gone to a Renaissance Festival, you should go at least once.
Yeah.
And we have Pirate Day,
okay.
Pirate Weekend. Everybody dresses like a pirate. So, and of course, I do Jack Sparrow. So, and I've been known to do him quite well, especially in the past when I used to drink. It makes it easier when you drink, but I'm sober now, so I don't drink, but I can still do Jack.
Yeah.
You just have to be a good actor at stumbling. So
I used to dress up as. I used to go to the Renaissance Fair that was in my town for a few years, and I loved going there. And then for a few years, I dressed up as a wandering monk and just started walking around the Renaissance Fair.
Yeah.
It's like the community when I was in it. And afterwards, usually there was like a car show that was right next to it, I got to look at exotic cars. I'm happy,
Yeah. It'd be funny seeing a monk jump into a 63 vet.
Okay.
A little out of his time zone, but it works and it's fun. So, how did you decide to start your channel?
I started my channel because really it was maybe a year and a half ago. It was before the coronavirus even started to happen. And then I just wanted something different to do on YouTube, or I wanted to start my own YouTube channel. I looked around, and then my sister pushed me towards Disney, which I already loved anyway. And she doesn't have a channel, but I do.
She has a channel. It's yours.
Yes, she has my channel.
Because if it's anything like my brothers and sisters, they're always invited. They're always invited, but you'll probably never ever see them on here.
Yeah.
It's they would be supportive because I'm the youngest of 5, so
okay.
They would be supportive, but they don't. I'm the techie in the family.
Okay.
I'm 57 and I'm the techie. They have cell phones, but they don't know how to do all this.
Yeah.
When I started this, have you ever heard of Think Media?
Yes, I have.
So Sean Cannell.
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Have you ever done any of his what do you call them? Seminars?
No, I have not.
They're not. Some of them are not that expensive, but if I knew if I knew then what I knew now, I probably wouldn't have done the seminar. But I continue to get videos from him, which is cool. But his story of him and his wife is pretty amazing.
Oh, wow.
I was up till like 3 o'clock in the morning one morning, just watching video after video. And that's when I decided to do this. I was like, I can do this. And the very next day I tripped over Adventures with VP, and
Oh, yes.
VP and Arlene and Mylene were out at Magic Kingdom, and they were buying pins, and they were talking about pins. And that was the very first, and that's all I typed in was Disney. And I just happened to see a live stream, and that's the first one I clicked on. And then from there, I found Gonzo, and then from there, I found the Mickey Bunch, and then it's just steamrolled from there. And I'm like, well, can I do this? You know, can I really do this? So I just started looking at everything that I had. I was a DJ for 12 years, a mobile DJ for 12 years. So I had lighting, I had speaker stands, microphone stands. I have a camcorder. I had 2 kids, so I have camcorders. I have stereo equipment. I've got mixing equipment. I've got a GoPro, and I'm looking around going, I don't think I have to buy anything. Here I go. You know, and here I am, you know.
Yeah.
And because my kids grew up in theater, and I was a technical director for 26 years in Children's Theater of Annapolis, I know it's not always what's here, you know, in a private camera. It's like Disney. You know, do you know that there's 5 keys? Let me grab my phone here. Did you know there's in Disney there's 5 keys to the Disney process? And I'm going to read them to you if you don't know. Okay. The first key is safety. And this is everything Disney does, period. It starts with safety, show, efficiency, and courtesy.
Okay.
Just this past year, they added one more. And Kelly, if you're watching this later, Kelly from the Mickey Bunch, she knows the new one. And the new one is diversity. So now there's 5 keys. And if you think back to everything that Disney does, that makes a lot of sense, you know. And so that's how I'm approaching this, you know, safely. You know, I'm not going to trip over anything coming into my room. Show. This is all show. Back here. This is all show.
Yeah.
It's me. It's me. This is me. This is who I am. But it's show for everybody in chat, everybody out in YouTube world.
Yeah.
You know, I like doing this, you know, and did you watch, were you on, now my very first time ever live was on with Gonzo last Saturday. Did you see that?
I think I did. Yeah.
That was my very first time ever on a live. And I was a little nervous, but this is number 2 for me, the second one. So thanks for having me on. I appreciate it. And
I think this is like my 5th time on a live. So I had a little bit of hope because I got friendly with a bunch and I on. So
well, that's the nice thing about this community. You can reach out to the group that we're in chat with, and you know, however you reach out to a Facebook or Instagram or whatever, and they're pretty receptive to come back. You can reach out to me if there's something. I think we talked about, you know, how you were going to go. Didn't you and I were talking about our recording at the parks, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, did you say you have a GoPro?
I do. I GoPros.
Is it a 6 or a 7 black? You froze up.
Oh, silver. I did.
Okay, you froze up.
Hello.
You froze up for a second. Did you say is 6 silver?
Yes.
Okay.
7 silver.
7 silver. Okay. So
Yeah.
let me see if I can find my hat. I'm going to show you. And I told you. I think you and I talked about it. So
okay.
I collect hats too. So this was a Vans. This is my Vans hat. Katrina, we're still here. Woohoo! This is my Vans hat, and the reason I chose this hat is because the bill was real thick and heavy. So I drilled a hole in it.
Okay.
And I mounted my mount on it.
Okay.
So I'll just take my GoPro, and then I'll put it. I just switch it over.
Yeah.
And you know as well as I do, we control these. We can control these by our phones. So, and if you have this on, and you're chucking, you're going down the park, nobody knows it's there.
Yeah.
Very rarely. Mm-hmm. Now, the only thing I need to remember to do is when you have to be respectful. So when I go into the bathrooms, I just put it down like that. I'll put it down like that, or give it to my wife to hold. Other than that, and it's only 3.5 inches from my eyes. So the view I get from this is just like if I was just 3 inches taller. And it's great. Now I've got the one on my backpack. I got the clip for my back. But when I have my backpack on, I'll put the clip on my backpack strap. And I'll record that way too. That way's okay, but I find myself putting my arm in front of it a lot. So that's that. I have this.
That pin.
It's the band concert.
Okay.
This says 1935. And again, this is not dated either. I have a lot of pins that aren't dated because they came out before Disney started dating pins. The history of the pins is that this was a Disney had. I have. If you can get a copy of this, get a copy of this.
Okay. The history of the Disney pins.
Yes, this is volume 2. There's a volume 1. It's green.
Okay.
They know, and it says 6th edition. The early editions came out in paperback. They no longer make these. The gentleman that designed this has passed.
Okay.
And it gives you it is just amazing. And it's page after page after page. You think you got some pins? You think I got some pins? This book.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah. How many pins did they make?
Yeah. So my tour, I'll give you a quick, I'll just grab my camera here and give you a quick onesie. Let's see if I can do this the right way. Ta-da! Sorry about that. So these are my pin tables.
Oh.
And this is where I sit and I make my pin boards. And
those are cool.
Yeah, and then I have this wall. Some of my pin boards and some of my lanyards. So I think I'm at about I'm close to probably 7,000 to 8,000 pins right now.
Wow.
But again, it's just one of those things where you go, yeah, I guess I can do that and have fun with this. It's like anything else. People have collections of shoes Loungefly.
Of course. Yeah.
Katrina, has her lounge fly bags and
Pops.
Pops. My son works for GameStop.
Okay.
And there are. He said he has seen walls in houses, pictures of walls just covered with Pops.
Yeah.
Who'd have thunk it? It's like anything else. What's it worth? It's worth what it is. It's worth to you. If it makes you smile, makes you happy, go do it. Don't worry about what anybody else thinks. This is my buddy.
Very cool.
He's my buddy. And again, got him. I've owned him probably for a couple years, but he makes me smile. He's up on my monitor speaker, and he looks down at me and smiles at me, and like Pete said the other day, do what you do, and do what you do for others. If you have the time and the ability to make a difference for somebody else, take the time and do it. I love that. And that's why so many people are reaching out to help Pete. Collections of shoes, Mar says.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. All right, Steph. Now, again, I'm learning, so I'll look down at chat every once in a while. Stephanie says that is genius. I'm gonna guess she's talking about my GoPro hat.
Yeah, probably, or your room.
That snapback. Okay, and critique. Okay. Katrina.
And then we have something like this,
Oh, I've never seen that. Can you open to a page so I can see one of the illustrated pages?
Oh, wow. Look at this. It's the first page, the first one you come to. Let's take this off. Let's look at the map.
Oh, awesome.
Let's just look at that map,
That is so cool. Heck yeah.
Yeah, this is...
Wow.
And I like a lot. Really, I have not read most of them. I have them. I just haven't read them. It's kind of funny, And then we have something like what the inside looks like. Look how detailed that is.
Oh, that's so pretty. Wow.
Yeah. I'm going to have to read this one. I have not read it yet.
Wow, that is cool. Now, that's I see your Peter Pan album up on the wall behind you.
Yeah, what album? Yes.
I have my first Winnie the Pooh album.
Him.
Book.
Yeah, this is the book.
With that pan, yeah, that's the way they came. Those were awesome. Now, see, that was probably back in, I'm going to say, if it's dated, is it 68 maybe? 68, 1970 maybe? Is there a date?
1969.
69. I was close. That is so cool.
Yeah. And it shows all the pages that are in it. And then we can open it up. And you're right here.
Now, do you have a record player?
I do not, but I still have the record.
There you go. That's nice and shiny. That looks like that's in really good condition. That's in really good condition.
She loved and would go to like websites and just try to find the highest grade of them,
right.
Of something that she would look for, and she would just look on it and try to find that one thing. Which is kind of nice, you know. And
My son was in a what's this?
stamp set,
Wow.
and it's from that.
It's cool.
Can you read that?
Yeah, building for
Yeah.
building. Yes.
Yep. And this is right over here is the official stamp right there.
Oh, that is so cool.
And
Wow.
this is one of the things that my mom found at a discount store, and it was from the United States Postal Office. That you would be up on the wall, up in the corner, usually, just collecting.
So you could have bought those stamps just a lick and stick.
Yes.
That's cool. Yeah, that's cool. Wow. Oh, so
That would be from my mom. So she helps me too.
Cool.
It
let's see. Well,
this was a great stream. I think we could end it right here. What do you think?
This is cool. Yes. What we reaching out to everybody that joined us. You know, if you're watching this later, you know,
yeah,
like bloom-n-cheeza said, you know, hit that like button, subscribe,
hit that like button,
hit that bell, hit that bell. You know, that lets you know when he's on, sharing all of his treasures, all his treasures with you. I appreciate you bringing me on today. I'm a newbie, but you know, I thank you. I appreciate, you know, you just
you can help me. We're good. Cool.
Well, like I said, you know, let's continue. That's the cool thing about this is, and I found out the other day, we can do a lot of this backstage.
Yeah. Please do subscribe to both of us. Please do comment on both of us.
We appreciate it. My name is I'm Disney Baker, and this is
I'm bloom-n-cheeza. Yeah.
We thank you for being here.
Yep. You guys have a great night.
And